Okay, welcome. This is Andy Lee Graham, and I'm in Panajachel, Guatemala, on Lake Atalan. It's one of the world's greatest, best climates I've ever been to. And I make a habit of going around to different places where they have great climates so that I can hopefully find more paradise climates. The great thing about a great climate is you don't need any air conditioning. You don't need any furnaces, and you're not breathing conditioned air. And this is a big deal. When you're not breathing conditioned air, you're healthier. Okay, today I'm going to talk about my 10 top books that I recommend that have been kind of like my best friends. Okay, these books have been the books that I've referred to, quoted from, talked about. Um, they made an impact on me that I naturally remember. Okay, what's funny is though there's one book that I cannot even find though, which is probably the most influential business book that I've ever read, and I can't locate it because it's I don't know. I just picked it up in a lot of the books I've read in my life. I never read books because anybody told me to read the books. Okay, and I read books because I was tempted to read the books. So it's a little bit different than a lot of people. A lot of people feel like the teacher told them to read a book and they read it. Okay, so these are my 10 most powerful books by Andy Lee Graham. Okay, one of the quotes that I quote all the time, it's kind of interesting, is by Charles Dickens in the book David Copperfield. But I'm going to read you the quote. Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my life, or whether that station shall be held by anyone else, these pages must show. Okay, that's the first line to the book David Copperfield, and I read this probably when I was 16, and but I have not read the book David Copperfield. It's if you ever tried to read Charles Dickens, it's got to be one of the most difficult uh, authors on the planet. I mean, this guy's vocabulary is amazing. But Charles Dickens, you can watch the movies, okay, but the book is quite onerous to read. Okay, but that was one of my favorite quotes ever, and I think everybody should be the hero of their own life, okay? And that station should not be held by me, okay? Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. Traveled nonstop for 25 years and in 114 countries. I'm working on a book called, about Henry David Thoreau, and it's going to be interesting. Okay, the number one, they're not necessarily in any specific order, but sort of. First one is How to Win. The links, the links to these books are in will be in the description on the video that I'm making, and they're in the description right now for people that are watching this live. I do this concurrently so that I can feel like I'm talking to somebody. It's really difficult to talk to yourself for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. Okay. The most How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is to me one of the most important books in the world. It's the book that is about how to be friends, okay? How to make friends, how to become friends, how to talk with a person in a way that influences them, right? Because the name of the book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I often make a joke by Dale Carnegie. I make a joke how to lose friends and not influence people. A lot of people are not good at being charismatic and having personality. I believe that this should be a class in university that everybody is required to take, and they should have it in high school. It's one of the most important things that you can ever do is learn how to talk with another person in a charismatic way. Okay, try to reposition this so that things are a little better. Okay, so the links are in the Google Docs link that I put in the description. Okay. The reason why this is most important is because I'm going to try to do a little paraphrasing about what each of the books taught me. It taught me to say the name of a person. If I meet a person, you learn their name, their complete name, you do an introduction, you remember their name, and you repeat their name often because people enjoy hearing their name. Okay, so the intimacy of repeating somebody's name. So if I was saying Charles Dickens or whoever I meet, it's quite astounding to me. People right now don't believe that getting to know the person's name is valuable. And this is the worst thing you can possibly do. Okay. I believe that this is a pretty old book, but I believe it's totally applicable today as it was when he wrote it. And you can actually listen to it on, you can get on YouTube and actually listen to the book. I listened to the newer version when I was in Costa Rica. I wrote a book, and I'm going to talk about it because in the book he is talking about how to win the friend when you're already talking to them. And a lot of the problem is people have no way to open a conversation. So I wrote this one book, Pocket Guide to Meeting New People, How to Turn Complete Strangers into Friends. It has 25 different it's a really simple book. It's a pocket guide. And there's the 25 different ways is in the thing and in the beginning of the book in the chapters, right? And it's really simple, okay? But a lot of people have failed to open up a conversation. So it's, to me, like the chapter that Dale Carnegie didn't include. And he kind of assumes in the book that everybody already is in a conversation. The harder part, to me, is opening the conversation. So that link is there too, but it's not one of the best books ever, right? Number 2, Think and Grow Rich. This is a landmark book that is about how to think and become rich and grow rich. Napoleon Hill, the most important thing in the book is there's 30 ways that causes a failure. And this 30 causes of failure is real impactful because if you don't fail, if you avoid all the different things, there's like alcoholism, procrastination, it has a really long list. I think I put the list of 30 items in the bottom of the link that I've provided to you, okay? But this book is just simple, and this is what a good self-help book is. It's simple. Oh, I think I lost the live. Okay, so I guess I'll be publishing this without going live. Okay, Think and Grow Rich is by far one of the best business books ever. And you can, again, on YouTube, there's often like Cliff Note synopsis, but I truly recommend you focus on the 30 ways that people fail, because as I have what I call the remainder man theory. The remainder man theory is if you don't do anything negative, what remains over is positive. Okay. Number 3, How to Get Control of Your Time in Your Life by Alan Lake. And this is a real simple book. It takes your to-do list and separates it into 3 different sections. A, which is absolutely has to be done. B, that is saying, and C, which is just don't do anything with it until it becomes a B. Okay, but the A is the number 1 thing to do. Now I further expand on that and say I take an index card and I write 3 things that I need to be done in a day. And I made a video just a couple weeks ago about the to-do list. And we break things down into places to go, things to buy, calls to make, and different ways of separating the to-do list. And but this book is where I learned the first initial, when I was 30 or 25 years old, how to prioritize. Prioritization of a to-do list is the problem. You don't just make a to-do list and You go through it. The hard part is prioritizing what to do so you get the important things done. And this book by Alan Lakin, I think one of these guys is a basketball player. There's two authors, but the link is in the Google Docs. The number 4, which is an incredibly simple book, but it just is amazing how this book is. I wonder if I can turn this on and go live again. I'll see if I can do it. Nope, can't do it. Okay, the 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. Often managers treat their employees as if they can read their mind. So when you talk to an employee, you set out the goal. Okay, you say the goal, and in 1 minute, okay, you don't sit there and talk for 10 minutes. The goal has to be able to be said in 1 minute, okay, and then you allow the person to go work on whatever the project they are, whatever their goal, the small goal for the day. You don't give goals for really months and stuff. That's sort of a different thing. But when you're dealing with a lot of workers, they need a clear-cut goal from the manager. And if the manager can't say the goal in 1 minute, he or she is not really, in my opinion, understanding what they're doing. But I give goals when I'm managing somebody. I give goals that they can finish in 1 day. And if it's a project goes on, we start sectioning things out into 1 day goals. And this is often employers are giving you goals that are like months, and this is ridiculous. Okay, we have to break down. You take a major goal and you break it down into smaller parts. Then the more important thing is after the person has started working on the goal, you come back later and you do the 1 minute reaffirmation of the goal. So this is what the book is. It's like a 100-page book. It's really a simple book, but it's very, very important to understand how to set the goals for people working with you. And if you set the goals and you're really clear, people are happy with you, okay? If you get angry when they're not doing what you want, you have to ask yourself, did I set a 1 minute goal? Okay, number 5 is Walden, and Walden by Henry David Thoreau, and this is my my hero. Okay, in the book that I'm writing about, Andy lives in an alternate reality, a tribe of one, and 25 for 25 years in 100 different countries. That's the book I'm writing, but it's about the chapter economy. And in this book, he outlines, this is written in 1845, and I read it when I was 16. And what the value to me was, he tries to explain that everybody's in a desperate haste to succeed in desperate enterprises. And I was watching my father and mother try to take care of 5 children, and it was working, and they were working 2 jobs, and it was a relatively ridiculous situation to me. And this had a lot of impact. I was also working on the farm, and I was working a lot of hours, but the reason why it was impactful is he separated work into 2 categories. The necessary things of life, like Maslow's hierarchies of needs. What is necessary and what is superfluous. And he made a goal of saying that you could work 1 day a week. And I 100% agree. I've been working about 1 day a week for the last 25 years, traveling to 100 countries and living, abroad for 25 years and living in 100 plus countries. But he had when you separate what is needed to do from what you want, you really don't have to work very hard, okay? It's pretty easy. Number 6 is the Bible, okay? And the Bible teaches a type of charisma. The Christian Bible in the New Testament teaches a type of charisma by using parables. You tell stories, and that story has kind of 2 different meanings. And a parable is a really valuable way to tell a story to really angry people. One person will hear the good story, and the other person will hear the story they want to hear. So it's like, it's a great way of diffusing a difficult situation. So the Bible's full of parables, and if nothing else, it's the wisdom of telling stories, because the chapters in the Bible are in the New Testament, or all the Bible are stories, because they had the Sermon on the Mount. So the Bible, I read the Bible because the New Testament, because a girl I was dating, Debbie D, I won't tell her name, was demanding that sex was a sin. And I go, that's a good question. So I sat down and read the New Testament, actually 3 times. And it changed my life. Yeah, because now when people talk about the Bible, I am capable also of interpreting what they're saying, often in the correct way. And my belief on the Bible is a good person reads the Bible in a beneficial way, and a person that's relatively evil reads the evil side of it. And so when people are choosing to denigrate Bibles or Buddhism or any of these religions, I feel and believe that they have a spark of evilness in their heart, and that is the devil, even if he don't exist. Number 7 is tribes. We need you to lead us by Seth Godin, a person that I have been emailing, and I'm trying to interview in New York City in front of the Statue of Liberty sometime. Okay, the tribes we lead is very impactful because people think that they're going to appeal to everybody. And that's not the way the world works. We only appeal to people. But often a tribe is defined by what it's not. Okay? So you have a tribe of PC users, Bill Gates computers, and then you have Steve Jobs, Apple. Then you have the Android smartphone with the Apple smartphone. Okay? And this is a different tribe. And when I had the website Everyday Hobo or Hobo Traveler, I was trying to say this is for people that do not want to be on Facebook or TripAdvisor, okay? But very good, and he's got some really good videos online. What's interesting about Seth Godin is he's a very good speaker, and you can often watch many of these things. I have on my channel, I have a playlist going to Seth Godin videos. Okay. Number 8, Alcoholics Anonymous. I have been sober for 37 years and, I don't know, 10 months because of Alcoholics Anonymous. By going to AA, I stayed sober. And the book, what it teaches you is actually a quote, this quote is not in the big book, but it's really saying that your best thinking got you where you was to become an alcoholic. So the steps and how it works, page, I think chapter 5, goes through 12 different steps, and these steps are just genius. Now, they didn't just start out that way, they evolved, okay? So if nothing else, reading the big book, which is, you can download it for free, but anybody that is an alcoholic normally can go to an AA meeting and get the first book. It's a hardcover book or a paperback book, and you can read the book. And right now, the percentage of people that are alcoholic or dysfunctional is at an all-time high. It's really sad to me. And we're not in, my mother and father were alcoholic, but they never drank. Okay. People that have a dysfunctional thinking problem, the symptom is alcoholism, workaholics, overeating. You see, anybody that's fat has a dysfunctional problem that creates the symptom of eating. Okay, it's not that they're just bad, they have bad will, they have no willpower. I don't use willpower to stay sober. Okay, I use the fellowship and the power, the synergy of people. Because my best thinking is how I became an alcoholic. And I can't solve the situation. Einstein said that. Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with your the same thinking with which you made it. Okay, and this book is brilliant, and the 12 steps just tears it apart, and it creates a way of looking at it. It's for everybody, and anybody that thinks that they don't have a problem emotionally or mentally or dysfunctional, they need it more than anybody, because that is denial. Okay, we all can improve. Number 9, this is a hard one. I don't know what to do with it. I don't even know who wrote it. I read a book called The Green Machine. Okay, I don't know where I read it. I think I was just sober, and I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was carrying it. I just picked it up somewhere, right? But The Green Machine is just a little paperback book I wrote. It's about this guy that was in a Jewish person that was in the concentration camps, right? And they punked him out. They made him into a gay boy, and then they supposedly killed him. They put him in a pile of bodies, and this man, I mean, he wasn't gay. They just abused him in the concentration camp, and everything was horrible, right? And this is where I really feel sad for the Israeli people. It's about the only race on the planet that they have systematically tried to exterminate, okay? And if you don't feel any remorse, any sense of empathy for that, you need to get a life. You definitely need to stay away from me. Okay, I'm not going to deal well with people that act like the Israeli people deserve to get genocide. But the Green Machine man, what he did is he started businesses, and it's vertical integration. And vertical integration is I call it the push-pull theory. Okay, and this book was just excellent, because he would start a business, like say a newspaper, and then he would start a company that created paper, right? So, they actually created the paper to sell to the newspaper. Then the newspaper would be, there would be spin-off businesses. So what he did is he created all these businesses that pushed and pulled each other. So the newspaper did good because the paper was sold. But one of the best examples of this is Amazon.com. Amazon, they copied a lot of my products. So what they do is they create a system where they sell you products, then they turn around and find out which products were really good, and then they go into another side business, a spin-off business that takes the best of the best products on Amazon, and they manufacture them in China and they sell them. So they go back and forth, and it goes yin and yang and back and forth. And then it's like PayPal is connected to eBay. They're separated, but they're the same business and kind of an interlocking board of directors. This is so important because you want like subcontractors in the business. You want each business to have pride and a very clear, like a 1-minute manager. You want the business to have a clear mission. Okay, everybody wants to have these businesses that do anything and everything. Will probably be the downfall of Zuckerberg for Facebook or Google, as they try to have too many businesses. You see that Amazon is really just one broker. It's a broker between a buyer and a seller. Okay, it's a real simple business. But this book, I'd love to figure out how to buy this book. I think they called it The Green Machine. I think it was written by a French person and translated to English. The Green Machine meaning the money, right? It's one of the best business books I've ever read. Absolutely amazing. And it, in a way, also talks about the fortitude of a person that gets on with it, right? Doesn't sit around asking for sympathy, doesn't say he's a victim. They go out and make a life. Number 10, smart people, a user's guide to experts. And this is always funny. A smart person knows, the smartest of the smart people knows that he or she cannot be an expert in everything. Okay, so what they do is they constantly search for experts. So like here in Lake Athlon, I have an expert that's good at sewing, right? I don't have to be an expert at sewing to have a product. I had this shirt made by a person. I designed the shirt and I gave it to the person, but I could also have an expert in design, right? And anybody that has management skills has to be able to delegate and find experts. And a person that, like when I talk to somebody, I say, what company do you recommend for internet SIM card? And they don't have a clue. And I ask somebody which company is the best for laundry, which is a very common problem for a traveler. And the expat really will not even say which company they use. There's experts at different things. That doesn't mean it's got to be this PhD person. You have, I have people like my proofreader is an expert at proofreading. That doesn't mean that he's great at writing a book. I'm only as good as the team that goes together. So there's smart people. There's a person, in one thing, this person that wrote this explains things like there's a person that can always get a ticket to the baseball game, the professional baseball game, when everybody else cannot get one. He's the person that finds it. There's people that are capable of doing what you do. One time I sold a piece of real estate to a doctor, and he was from another country, and it was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I showed him how the city works, right? And this person knew that I was connected with all the people, okay? So he asked me, even though I only sold him real estate, he said, I believe you know how to wine and dine somebody, because I really know how to turn on the charisma and personality in a lot of ways. And I know how to go first class, okay? Contrary to what people think. I lived extremely first class in the United States, buying, like $100 dinners in 25 years ago. But he called me up and said, I've got a group of like 10 people coming into Fort Wayne, and I need to know where to take them and how to wine and dine them and treat them. And I explained to him how to do that, okay? And what restaurants would be the least likely to cause anybody to complain. Because at the end of the day, it's two different things. To do something correctly, you need to do it in a way that has the least amount of problems. So that was 10. I've got a couple other books I want to really point out. Quality is Free. I don't know where this book is either, but it was a very good book talking about what quality is. A lot of people get really angry at a $10 hotel or a pair of really cheap sunglasses. But if the manufacturer of those sunglasses created a very specific specs and they fabricated, we got to use the right word in English. If they manufactured these sunglasses to specs, that is high quality, okay? If a $10 hotel is giving you certain featured benefits, bundle of benefits, that is a high quality hotel because they're giving you exactly what they plan to. Often, the reason why I do not stay in 5-star hotels or high-end hotels, especially in abroad, is they have no clue what they're trying to give me. They don't have a set of 100 benefits that are clearly defined, okay? They don't understand clearly what a room should include. I made a video, how to turn a 1-star room into a 5-star room by understanding we have a set of benefits that we want to be happy. But quality is when you say, I'm going to give the client these things for this amount of money, and that is high quality. It isn't the Rolex. Rolex has a set of specifications. The cost has nothing to do with quality. The quality is we define what the mission was, what we are going to include in the product, and we perform it. That's high quality. And people are complaining about, they think that expensive is quality. That is the idiot way out, okay? Therefore, especially in hotels that I know a lot about, I've been in about 1,000 hotels. A hotel has almost no correlation to the price. if you rent or move into a hotel according to the prices, if you're really stupid, okay? What you should do is weigh out the pros and cons of what you want in a hotel and see if that hotel gives them. Generally, the five-star hotels are in the worst possible locations on the planet, and they double the price because the location is not serviced. Okay, but number 12 is Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. What he does, what he does is he couples habits. So like he says, every time you walk into the restroom, you can do, like 2 deep knee bends. Okay, every time you waiting for coffee, you jump up and down. So one of the habits I do when I'm waiting for my coffee to cook, like say a microwave or an immersion heater, when I'm doing that, I'm jumping up and down 50 times, or I'm doing different stretches because I get like Pavlov's dogs, okay? The minute that I start to do coffee, oh yeah, I got a habit that's connected to another habit. And the connection of these two habits creates it so we can get a lot of things done in a short amount of time. So BJ Fogg, he had a TED Talk, and that's where I first learned about him. He's in Stanford University, absolutely brilliant understanding. There's also a book called Atomic Habits, because if we have our routine, our habits, like why can I write 5 books? Why am I writing a 5th book? Because I get up in the morning and I have a habit of writing every morning. I don't feel complete. And that's what a habit is. Like a lot of people come abroad and they have a habit of going out to dinner every night, and they go into withdrawal, okay? Because suddenly it's very difficult for them to go out to dinner every night. But it's kind of good. They break the habit of getting fat. But their habit of eating, like walking in the house, is you walk in the house and you eat a bag of potato chips. You do that enough, or you walk in the house and you drink 5 beers every day. Eventually you become an alcoholic. But the connection of habits is what BJ Fogg at Stanford University talks about. 95% of you will not understand this. I for sure know that the people that read my book, How to Meet Complete Strangers in Tournament, 95% of you will not be able to understand it, and you'll think it's stupid because very few people, only about 5% of people can understand a strategy. I was going to write a book on 300 travel strategies, and I realized that nobody would like it because they wouldn't even be able to understand them. There's a mechanical causal relationship to a strategy. A strategy is something that you do that is different than other people. It's not just copying what another person does. It's actually being able to intrinsically come up with a new idea. And only about 5% of us can do that. Okay, In Search of Excellence, Tom Peters or something like that is a real good book. It's like 7 characteristics. And there's one I always remember, stick with the knitting. Stick with the knitting is define your goal of your business and do it really good. And there's people that always want to reinvent the business, and that is not a person that's wise. Once you start making millions of dollars, then you go to the second business. I have been a serial entrepreneur all my life. I've started like 10 businesses, and a lot of the problem is I'm an entrepreneur and I'm not very good at being a manager. So really, I'm very good at talking about management, but actually performing that is not where I'm good. I'm very good at starting a business, then I get bored. Okay. But at the bottom of this is the 30 problems which Napoleon Hill has on Think and Grow Rich. And I will try to make this section number 2 on books I will tell you that the books that I read the most on nonfiction is Clive Cussler, Tom Clancy, John Grisham, the guy in South Africa. I don't have a list here, but I will hook on to an author and then read all their books. Tom Clancy, Clive Cussard. I'm trying to do the author now. That the author of the day, du jour, is the person that wrote Reacher and made the one TV series. He's maybe okay. I'm not sure, but the way if you apply smart people, what I'm trying to do is be a smart person that you could choose books from. Okay. If you believe that my way of thinking is good, then I could be a smart person on recommending books. Okay. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm one of the few experts on the planet at travel. It's very difficult to travel endlessly for 25 years and go to 114 countries. It's about, if you meet somebody that's traveling like that, they're either on Social Security disability or retired, which would be you're too old. I started at age 42, right? I'm now 65 plus. And what is unique is I created a way to make money. So my business, hoboontheroad.com, made money for 25 years, 23 years, 10 months. And it was an extreme success, okay? And a lot of people are angry at me like it was a failure. And I go, hey, any business that supports you for 23 years and 10 months and allows you to go to 114 countries and do it for 25 years and live in paradise is not a failure. Okay. Try to find your smart people. There's smart people that, strangely, it's like, see, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, the way it works is you find this person that's very good at staying sober, okay? A smart person. And then you hang around with them. The problem is these really smart people do not want to hang around with you, okay? Because you're doing everything wrong. I'm having a kind of a conflict with one of the gentlemen that I'm helping right now. Is he wants to act as if he wants me to treat him as an equal on our knowledge of travel or the internet, okay? And I said, I had a business for 23 years where I made all my money from the internet. I've gone to, can you just go passive and act like I shouldn't have to obey you? I go, it's humorous to me because right now, everybody is on YouTube, everybody is on LinkedIn. They all think they're experts at everything. It's not true. We have to define, like a one-minute manager, we have to say what we are expert at. I am definitely an expert at selling real estate, buying houses, and I'm definitely an expert at the internet, and I'm for sure got my 10,000 hours and all these things, but also travel. That's why, from a consulting view, the biggest consulting job that I should be able to do, which is really would be that I should be able to, I've been in 1,000 hotels, okay? I can be a hotel critic at the ultimate level, okay? I can tell, plus I sold real estate for almost 20 years, right? So those two things coupled together, I can tell everything good and bad about a hotel. Okay, I'm here and you're not, why not? And I can tell people what tools they need to travel, what skill sets and what theories they need to understand to travel. Because the same skills that I use here is the same skills that I use when I would spend being a 5-star hotel. They are not different, okay? Everybody thinks that they're gonna have an easier life. It's actually more complicated to live in 5-star hotels than it is to live in Guatemala in a $10 hotel. That's why I don't live in these things. I could live in there for free by being because I'm an influencer, and they would give me free rooms. And I've always turned them down because they want you to be a prostitute. So 90% of the people that are travel writers are prostitutes. They are made as agreed, they tell the story. I'm here and you're not, why not? All these links are in the description. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for the people that were live that the internet connection, it's really, I used to have a backup, but the Tigo connection here in Lake Atitlan is horrible. Okay. Normally the data, the cell phone tower is better than the Wi-Fi. Not here in Lake Atitlan right now. This is December 2023, I think, and Merry Christmas. I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not, why not?